All right. Well, welcome to the first episode of the Vault podcast, where we talk all things business, entrepreneurship, wellness. I'm Tim Regan, one of the hosts, and my co-host, Jason Markowitz, is with us. What's going on, man?
Excited to be here, man.
Excited to be here. Yeah, so first ever episode, going to talk a little bit about what is the Vault, where's the Vault, what is a podcast, who are you, who am I, and why the hell should people want to listen to it, right?
Makes total sense to me.
All right, so let's start with the Vault. You know, why the Vault? What are we calling it the Vault for?
Yeah, you know what? Quick story about the Vault. So, we have been in the health and wellness business for about 20 years, and we had an office.
You and your partner.
Me and my partner, Rick.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've been doing that a long time here. And we had an office close to the house next to one of our fitness facilities. And 2 years ago, probably a couple margaritas in at a local restaurant here in downtown Frankfort, left, saw the for sale sign on the building at this beautiful building at 28 West Nebraska, called on it. It was under contract from another local business owner that had it kind of spoken for already. So we just kind of held tight. 6 months later, same Mexican restaurant in downtown Frankfort, a few margaritas.
Yeah.
Called back, the sign was still up, and fortunately it came available. So
Awesome.
The contract fell through. We pulled the trigger, bought the building, moved our office in, and what we realized was it's a big space. So for us, we have a handful of team members that work here consistently, but it had a really neat vibe to it. It was a former bank, so there's 8 or 9 vault doors to it. So we wanted to kind of play off of that theme, and in the lower level, there was a lot of space that was kind of going unused that would have turned into storage for us. So we said, you know what, let's try to think creatively and make it a space where other local business owners and entrepreneurs and people in the community can come and also utilize it, because it was just too much space for us. So we outfitted it in a way that was, we thought visually appealing. Or Jillian, our marketing director.
Right? I mean, Jillian does an outstanding job with that kind of stuff.
She does a great job, yeah. So
when you say vaults everywhere and downstairs and stuff, like, you're not talking like a vault room. Like, this is an escape room type of setup, like...
Nobody's been trapped yet. Nobody's been locked in. Yeah. No, it's more, we just kind of played off the vibe and what Jillian created with, we just made sure that the credit card worked when she was designing it. And as we were retrofitting the space to just make it a cohesive space that people can socialize, network, collaborate, and do those type of things.
Yeah. And so now the space is not just for you and Rick and your own margaritas. The space is kind of transformed a little bit into what maybe started out as a fun place for you guys to hang out is now
a place for other people to hang out. You bet.
Yeah. And so the Vault is really, it's a place for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders in the community to come together, share ideas, socialize, all that kind of good stuff, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Right. Which is really kind of the point of this podcast too. So the idea being, let's create a network of people that want to excel, want to see themselves grow, and do it, whether it's in business, whether it's in how they treat their body, all that kind of stuff. Right?
For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, as you know, Tim, business is hard enough on your own, right? So if you have an environment you could put yourself in to learn from other people and shorten the curve,
100%.
All the better.
Yeah. And so in this podcast, we'll take time getting to know Jason and I, our businesses. We'll be pretty transparent, I think, in how we're running our business. Some of the things we're going through, and then also get some of our other community in here, right?
Yep.
And hear from other people and see what they can bring to the community.
Yeah, for sure. It's been fun to see it kind of come together as we have people in all different types of industries, from legal to attorneys, real estate, finance, wealth management. There's a really neat, natural, organic, just blend of entrepreneurs and professionals that came into the system. So yeah, super excited to get everybody here and start sharing.
Yeah. And so then the Vault Frankfort, that's a concept. So we've got this building. If you're a member here in the Vault Frankfort, you get 24/7 access to the facility, come in, hang out, bring people, like just kind of a cool social club.
Yeah.
Designed to help create community around.
That's it. Yeah.
People.
That we want to keep it simple. So 24/7 access, 365, come and go as you please, use the space as you want, first come, first serve. There's rooms available for rent for conference rooms and meetings. If you needed to reserve some space, that's an option. We try to keep it really, really simple and user friendly.
Yeah. And then this just kind of spins off, says, well, if we've got a community there that's already being formed, how do we take this to a broader conversation and help other people?
For sure.
So you said fitness industry and you got a partner and that kind of stuff. So kind of give us the rundown. What's the Markowitz enterprises look like?
You know what? It's a smorgasbord of stuff, I would say. But it started out right out of college as a health and wellness entrepreneur. So fell into a fitness concept, got some ownership early in my career, and really went through the school of hard knocks for last couple decades, right? Like you try things, you learn, you grow, and that's what we've been doing. So we probably have opened over 50 facilities in the Midwest and Mid South mostly.
And so 50 facilities, are they like just a gym? Am I going in? I feel like I'm at Gold's Gym and a bunch of guys in the corner pumping metal. Give me a feel for
We
like
lock
what
those
is it?
guys in a closet these days.
They prefer that. They turn the heat up and let them go sweat somewhere.
Yeah, so our average facility, and we've scaled it up and down over the years, but the average store that we do today is probably around 15,000 square feet. So if you think of, what you would see at a traditional gym at LA Fitness or anybody else in a community, it's just kind of shrunken down to a 15,000 square foot footprint with all the standard stuff you'd see in most facilities. And then we do a lot in the relax and restore and recovery space with wellness, with saunas and cold plunges and massage chairs and those sort of things. And we've tried to, find communities where they're maybe underserved and we can go in there and build a great club, put some great leadership and do a great job. And then just, to fast forward through the rest of the things that we do, we've been franchisees of other businesses in the health and wellness sector, some that you may have heard of, like Massage Envy is one. We're in real estate, construction, and property management, kind of summarizes the other projects.
We probably all, you say call it a smorgasbord, but it all does fit in that same common vein, right? I mean, to be in the construction, real estate, you guys are looking at real estate all the time for your core business. That just probably makes some sense
there's a lot of synergy with it all for sure.
Well, and one of the things that I thought was interesting, so for you guys, it's not just that, but you've also done a little bit. You've got a place out in Indiana that you're trying to do like this Airbnb deal with. That's one area that's kind of interesting that I've kind of observed from the outside, because that's not necessarily the easy button to real estate necessarily, is it? You're kind of hitting a couple of bumps along that road where you're like, man, this was not all that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit.
Yeah, for sure. When you get comfortable in the long-term leasing space where you have a tenant that's paying rent, it's kind of automated. And then you get into short-term rentals and people are coming and going every couple of days and, they don't know how to turn on the stove or the gas lighter or whatever. It's, it comes with its set of, just different challenges. Yeah, for sure.
And the reason I think about that is because a lot of times we'll talk to people that are like, man, I'm going to go buy a bunch of houses in Saugatuck and run them out for short-term rentals and, turn that into a little business opportunity. But it's not necessarily passive as much as you might think.
Not all the time. Yeah, not all the time. You better just make sure you enjoy the work that you're signing up to do, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then as your journey continued here in this building, I was fortunate enough to get to know you guys and hop in, and it's been a really good experience for us too. This location in downtown Frankfort, if people are not familiar with the downtown Frankfort area, like it's kind of a cool little place.
Yeah, it is. It's a great vibe. There's a lot to do. Keep people active, places to go eat, have a drink and socialize and stuff. So yeah, it was great. I'm glad, if you want to maybe give the listeners just a sense of how we met, where you started with us, and kind of where we landed now in the partnership.
Yeah. So our business, we're in the wealth management space, wealth management, tax advice primarily, and have been for 27 years or so. My motto is that we want to help you to shed your fishbowl and live your 2-comma life. We joke around here, we want to make it 3 commas, but 2-comma life is all about, if you think about how many commas are in $1 million, there's 2. And if it's not about $1 million, it's about, because there's somebody probably says $1 million is more than I could ever have. Somebody else says I couldn't live on $1 million a year. But it's more about living that millionaire lifestyle and, living in abundance, living in freedom, living in
what's important to you.
What's important to you. That's right. And so we had space in neighboring town and started recording our podcast here. And
you saw how much fun we were.
I did. And then thought, man, this is a place I got to be. So moved our headquarters here and have been here now for.
The rest is history. So it's been great. Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Yeah. And and thankfully you guys let me become partners with you. It's been a good deal.
Yeah.
And so as we think about your business and my business, I think there's probably some things that we could go down a whole list of things to talk about. And we'll probably have specific episodes on it. I think part of it is, how do you structure the business so that you can have complementary businesses that work together, like you, whether it's the real estate that leads into opportunities in the gyms or what have you.
Yeah.
I think that's one area. So look for an episode there. I'd say look for an episode on we'll do some wellness stuff. So maybe what's the benefits to hot and cold plunge, or should I be taking Manjaro and all the other stuff?
Yeah.
Because I think we got some things to talk about there.
Sure.
And really, I think it comes to how do we help ourselves continue to grow as entrepreneurs and as business leaders, right?
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't agree more. I think, a lot of being an entrepreneur is just identifying challenges and overcoming them and finding solutions. So I think part of that is sharing with others and learning from others and, doing it together.
Yeah. And so when you think about that, right now, what are the things that you guys at Fitness Premier are like, man, here's what we're excited about and where you're going as you look to grow that business?
Yeah, for us, we've been headquartered out of the Midwest, just south of Chicago for, 20 years now, and most of our locations sit within 100 miles of where we're sitting today. So we're excited that we have some locations that are actually open up in a few various states throughout the U.S. So we're open up in Colorado, Florida, and Georgia this year.
Oh, cool. Those are really good places.
Yeah. So all fun places to visit depending on the season of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
So January from Chicago, we'll head down to Florida, and vice versa. So
so that franchising space. So help me to understand a little bit. You guys are the franchisor, and so if I'm not familiar with that space, like franchisor, franchisee, how does all that work?
Yeah, so the best way to think about a good franchisor is a turnkey business model in a box with a lot of support, and it's meant to be where you have the ability to provide a system to entrepreneurs that are excited about what you're doing in a way that makes it easy for them to succeed, with their execution.
Yep.
So for us, it's, we've operated a lot of our own stores where we've owned them, right, in various states and some of those things. So that comes with its own set of challenges and risk. And so we wanted to, basically condense our approach to it and find other entrepreneurs that were super excited that we can scale a little bit quicker through them getting involved in the system and having, having them be a part of that journey with us.
And so is it a way for me to be entrepreneurial without having to take all of risk, because you've already laid out a system, right? So it's not like I have to create the wheel. The wheel's been created. I just got to go in and execute on what that wheel looks like.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a good way to summarize it.
And so then if I guess I look at it from both sides, right? If I'm a person that's looking to grow my wealth, I could look to become a franchisee, plug into a system, and in the gym space, kind of in your space, what's that usually look like? I mean, is that something where what do I have to figure out? What don't I? Do you help me find my real estate? Do you not? Like, help me walk me through some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, from a franchising perspective, we really help kind of solve from A to Z. So everything from site selection to, ways to attract team members to, the hiring process, training, development, sales process once you open a store, grand opening, marketing. So all the nuts and bolts that you would need to open a business. We have a system, an SOP, a training workshop or a team member that can show you that stuff.
So SOP, standard operating procedure, not as opposed to SOP, which is what you call me when I'm walking around the office.
Yeah. SOP, not SOB.
I got you. Okay, good. Just make sure I got it.
So really, as a franchisee or a small business owner, you're focused on your team, your leadership, infiltrating the community to share with them what we're excited about in the facility, to really be a magnet. So it's all about, a lot of people get into fitness because they love other people, they love helping people, they love fitness and wellness themselves. So we're looking for those folks, and then we want to provide systems and support behind them that enables them to focus on that, so they don't get bogged down with some of the things that, frankly, we've been bogged down with over the years of just running a business, right?
Yeah.
Spreadsheets, payroll, numbers, KPIs, all super important. But it really should be provided in a way that you don't have to do a lot of that manual work yourself. It's in front of you, and then you can focus on going and doing the blocking and tackling, the fun part of the business.
Yeah, so it almost sounds like on the franchisee's part, it's find what you like to do and unload all the other stuff that the franchisor is bringing to the table, right?
That's the goal.
But on the franchisor, like if I own a business, I'm like, man, I want to franchise this as a way to grow. I better have pretty good systems. I better have my shit together in order to execute on that? Or how's that? How did you guys come up with, here's how we're going to do it, and we get into the franchise business?
You know what? Honestly, it was through like years and years of like us doing it ourselves, right? So as we open up facilities in various states in different ways, you adapt and evolve. So we've kind of built the system and the franchise system we have today through 20 years of learning and opening our own locations, getting them profitable, selling them off, and seeing what really sticks and makes it effective in this industry. So we'd like to think that we have a really good understanding and a really, kind of a doctorate level of, the fitness business, if you will, just through the School of Hard Knocks, frankly, through just being out there actively and just doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because as we continue to grow and scale and provide success to others, I'm going to be able to give you a little bit more money in my retirement account, so you can turn those into 3 combos.
Yeah, we got to get
like
it
you
to 3,
guaranteed
man.
me.
Well, and so if I think about going down that path, like how hard is it for me to let's look at both sides of it. If I'm wanting to open a franchise somewhere, and I've identified fitness premiers who I want to do that business with, or massage entity, you guys have some background there. Like, what's that look like? So how do I interview you, or how do you interview me? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. They call it a discovery process, a dating process, exploration process, and it's a two-way street typically. So,
I'm not going to date you, just so you know.
Good. I was hoping you were going to say that was
Good,
a test.
yeah.
But it really is, it's kind of a two-way interview for candidates. So if you apply to a system, you're typically filling out an application, you're providing some financial data on your situation to see if you're qualified to open this business and be in a position to finance it, to get it open and get it profitable. So that's part of it. But then it's usually a 4 to 8 week exploration process where you're asking them questions as a franchisor, and they're asking you questions to see if you'd be a good operator in their system. And I've been through probably hundreds of those exploration process. Part of it from an R&D standpoint, to see how other franchise systems do it, to see where are they good, what are some things that they do in their process that are really effective, and then what are some pain points. So I've been through quite a bit of those, and there's some really good ones and there's some really tough ones, right? So,
But that's probably a time when you can tell this ain't going to work. And I'm assuming I don't put any money up to go through that process, right?
Yeah.
And
it's discovery, it's exploration. It's like, let's see if this is going to be a fit. So there's some time and energy that goes into it. So you're typically, on calls, you have the ability to talk to other franchisees in that system, which is a key part of it. Every franchise organization has to legally register what they call a franchise disclosure document, an FDD, with the SEC. So that's a governing body that basically oversights to make sure that franchisors are selling systems the right way. So it gives the franchisee a really clear picture, and then from that clear picture, they can go down and really do a deep dive and ask a lot of great questions.
So if I'm on the flip side of that, and I think, man, I've got a really good business here that I think I can turn into a franchise, it ain't just go out and say, hey, do you want to franchise my business? I mean, there's some work that goes into that.
Yeah. You want to make sure that, and a lot of people think that, I mean, there's a lot of small businesses out there that do really well. I think you want to think about it like, is this a scalable system that can be replicated to multiple units, right? Can somebody come in a system and, what's it going to take them to open this business? And then what type of profits can be generated to, create the lifestyle they want to make? So that's a big piece of it. So when we go through and look at franchises, and even as investors, it's like, all right, what's it going to cost me to open? And how much money are we going to get back as a return? And then you kind of multiply that with, am I going to enjoy operating this business? Do I want to operate it? Am I going to be an investor only? And you can kind of work backwards off of there. So we typically think about it in those type of ways.
And in your model, do you guys usually promote like multi-unit, or like, hey, come out and build this region? Are you more, hey, let's get one up and running, let you operate that, and then we'll see where it goes? Like, what's your preferred model with that?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we definitely like multi-unit operators, those that have the ability to, train and develop and lead across multiple units. I think that's a certain skill set. So that is an avatar investor for us that is attractive for sure, because it enables them to scale some of their operations with labor and marketing and some of those things. So it becomes more efficient, right? So, and I think as you think about a territory, we've been somewhat specialized in the sense that we're pretty flexible. Like, we don't mind going to smaller, tertiary, more outlying markets, because frankly, there's a lot of great communities out there that are underserved. So you go in there and you do a great job and you provide some good support and some good leadership to the store, you could really have a nice business that does a great job in that town. It becomes kind of the hero of that community. So that's been a niche for us. So as we grow and scale, we'll be able to develop more multi-unit centers, like outside of Denver now, out in Florida where we're going, and around the Atlanta area. There's opportunities to do more of a concentrated footprint, so you can develop that regional presence and more brand awareness in a more efficient way.
That's pretty exciting. And so then when we talk about wellness and stuff on this conversation, and even down in the vault, our physical location, when you're talking fitness, wellness, similar, not exactly the same, right? So how would you define the difference between like fitness versus wellness?
Yeah, I think when people traditionally think about fitness, they think about probably what you said earlier, like the Gold's Gym
Yep.
part of it, and from the 80s and the 90s, and of just dumbbells and
Feel
guys
the
in there
pump.
grunting. It's really become more of a holistic approach to just feeling better. Right? It incorporates, the mental part of it, the recovery part of it, and how you look and feel beyond just being in the gym, running on the treadmill. That's part of it, right? But I think an equally meaningful part of it is just how you mentally unwind, how you relieve stress. And there's some things that a lot of facilities now are doing nowadays related to like sauna and cold plunges and massage and boots and stretch and and all those things that really help people just feel better and recover from their workouts.
Yep.
and feel encouraged to come back the next day. So our goal is just to get them to come back one more day, right?
Yeah.
And to feel that connectivity, and that drives just results.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was Peter Attia that started talking about your health span, not your lifespan. How do you make sure that you stay? And he's not the only one. There's lots of people talking about it. But I think I read it in his book, and when you think about that, I mean, that to me is more wellness than fitness. Fitness is a part of that, but fitness is a piece to the wellness.
For sure. Yeah. What you're putting in your body, what you're eating, what's your number, what's your number, your wellness number. You going to do a healthy 100?
Well, yeah. So I don't know what my wellness number is, but I can tell you what my goal is. I want to be 90 and go water skiing with my great grandkids. That's the goal. So,
are you a good water skier?
No, I haven't water skied in 10 years.
That'll be quite.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it is. So that's the goal. I want to be 90. I want to go water skiing with the great grandkids. I got that picture. And
do you plan on practicing before you're 90, or are you just going to go in there cold turkey?
I think I'll practice a little bit. Yeah, we're going up to northern Wisconsin this year, and we'll do a little bit of practice maybe. And but because it used to be, I was that guy at the gym that was always trying to get bigger, stronger. How strong could I be, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when your joints start hurting, and it's a pain in the neck to try to get up off the ground and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, that's not the desired outcome, right? I don't want to be 90 and can't get out of my lazy boy because I broke everything in the process.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and me both.
Yeah. And so the vault downstairs, it's a place for people to come together. It's kind of these kind of conversations with learning about business, finding best practices, saying about wellness, but it's a place you can do it socially. I know Sarah and I use it all the time after we'll go to dinner and then head over to the vault, have maybe a nightcap. Or we've had watch parties, right? NCAA tournament. So
yeah, that's a fun time to get people together. Yeah, to kind of just socialize outside of the day-to-day of work. So for sure, yeah, it's been fun seeing you down there. And I mean, that couple years you were a member down there was really a test to see if we wanted you to move your home office here. So congratulations to you for passing the test.
I must have passed, right? You let me buy in, so because we're kind of married to the deal now, right? Yeah, well, and so I think like for this purpose of this podcast, right? Like this is listen in, let's get some guests on, let's start learning business, let's all grow our businesses, let's get healthy. And for people that want more information, go to thevaultfrankfort.com, right?
That's it. That's the spot. So
episode 1.
Episode 1 complete. All right.
All right.
Nice work.
Thanks.
It was fun.
All right. Take care.